Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an incredible blend for you guys today that I am dying to try out. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start my pour because the scent has been like teasing me for the past half hour. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this out already because this is ow hot. It's ow. I missed. Now tonight's blend is going to be one that's a special treat. Alba, welcome. And I have been dying to try this. This is going to be a really nice summer blend. It's called, hey Sneha, welcome. It's called Honeybush Blueberry Pancake. And Gamer, welcome. I see you on Twitch there. Oh my god, this stuff is amazing. It's been smelling so sweet. And just the scent of it's like very wholesome, very robust, and I like right away it's already cake like. So I'm gonna jump right in and try some. Oh my god, that's so good. Like I'm getting like the blueberries are right in your face. It's it's a little bit hard to describe only because the blueberry is like very strong in this, but the vanilla and the honeybush are really they're not as strong as I thought it would be, which is a good thing because sometimes the vanilla will take over. The vanilla and the honeybush would take over the taste of the blend. But they really did a good job in in maintaining the sweetness and the balance. The blueberry is pretty profound, but underneath you have like the vanilla. Well, I'll tell you guys what's in it right off the bat, so you know what to expect. You have honeybush tea, rose hips, apple pieces, maple flavoring, blueberries, natural blueberry flavor, blue corn flour. There's a lot of blue stuff in here, and vanilla cream flavoring. And right off the bat, like I'm getting a lot of in-your-face blueberry, but the underlying tones of the honeybush and the vanilla are right behind it. And it tastes really nice. I'm getting a lot of vanilla in the scent as well, but not so much in the flavor. Now, to me, the interesting thing is, I'm getting like more of the pancake essence in the scent than the actual taste. The taste is a lot of like blueberry, vanilla. What does the color look like? Oh, that's a good question. I got right into the description, but forgot to actually talk about the coloring. Now you can see it's a very brownish color, but there are a lot of tones of blue, affected of course by the blueberries. So I can bring it a little bit closer. You can see closer to the top it's more profound because the way that the light is angling, you'll see a better concentration of it. So you see like a lot of the blue down there, up at the top and like down at the bottom. Off to the sides you'll see the color of the honeybush, which is more brown and coppery. So you're seeing the way that the light refracts, I guess, reflects. I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken physics, but the way that the light goes through it, and you can see it from different angles. It's really you're really able to see the difference in the color. So this is actually, I'm going to show you guys on Facebook first what the tea actually looks like. And don't worry, you Twitchers, I'll show you as well. But you'll notice here, there's a lot of fall colors, lots of browns, lots of reds, lots of yellows, You see the couple of giant blueberries in there, and then you'll also see the blue cornflower that's in there that gives a nice little contrast from it. So you're able to see all the ingredients, and the apple pieces. Of course, there's, I don't know what kind of berry. Like I see like the red pieces. Oh no, wait, those are the roses, aren't they? Yeah. Yes, you can actually eat the blueberries. However, I would probably wash it off first because Honeybush is not a very good tasting tea to eat. It tastes a lot better when it's. I'm trying to show the Twitchers how it looks. I'm sorry, guys. Like I don't have a good light source for this. But as you can see, like the colors you see are lots of browns and yellows and kind of a violet, with the blueberries up front. But the aroma is incredible. Like it when it's dry, it smells just like blueberry pancakes, and that's the first thing you get when you open up the bag. It all wafts right up, and it smells like breakfast. Oh, excuse me. Like it's very appetizing. You taste the you taste the sweetness of the strawberry, and it's not even like a really strong blueberry. Yeah, I said strawberry. Oops, blueberry. You taste the sweetness of the blueberry, but it's not as tangy as a lot of berries are. This is just basically the essence of it. But I'm getting like a lot of that flavor, especially when you breathe it in. You get a nice aroma. It coats the tongue very well. Ooh, I was trying to do the the Thomas taste, and I kind of just licked my lips a little bit. This is not a black tea, unfortunately. This is well, not even unfortunately. It's just not a black tea. It's a honeybush, which means it's not caffeinated. There is no tea in here. Hey, Captain, welcome. You're painting a picture of breakfast and the breakfast tea that you want in the morning. Absolutely, this is the kind of tea that will go well with breakfast. I mean, it matches pancakes. And it's naturally sweet, and you can even put a little bit of cream in here to bring out more of the vanilla, so it tastes more like pancake and less like blueberry tea. So it's all according to preference, depending on how you want to bring out the sweetness. I prefer using stevia versus sugar because you use less of it and you get more of a sweet, the sweet taste of it. But when, for this kind of tea, it would be a little bit wise to plan ahead and maybe experiment a little bit how you'd prefer to sweeten it. I think that if you try stevia or something sugary, it'll bring out the Deborah, welcome. It'll bring out the flavor more of the vanilla and maybe lighten the blueberry a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely. Oh yes, absolutely. This is a dessert in a cup, and this is the perfect time to drink that kind of a tea while the weather is starting to get hot. Because as the weather gets hotter, the taste buds gear more towards something light and refreshing and not savory. I always go to savory because that's my preference in general. But you go for the lighter, sweeter tastes during the summer, and teas like that are easy to ice as well. And I mean like easier on the palate rather than easier to physically do because it's all the same process. You can hot brew it, cold brew it, depending on the tea, but you still get the same kind of results. So going along the summer, I always prefer to do sweet teas for you guys because you guys are the ones that are going to try it. And so if you get inspired and I do a chai in the middle of summer, that's not going to be everybody's taste. Um, you're going to want to do more along the lines of fruits and white teas that are light tasting, jasmines and stuff like that. Jasmines and mints. Iced blueberry tea, yes. That is always. I always go to imagine how a tea would taste iced, and yeah, it's absolutely incredible. This one, it's very very full, so you can definitely enjoy it as a full on iced tea. Sneha says honeybush tea is a South African tea made of leaves from the honeybush plant. It grows in the eastern Cape of South Africa and closely related to rooibos tea. Absolutely. Also known as the red bush tea. That is actually a German word. Rooibos means red bush, and I always find that it's a nice little discovery how you have the continent of Africa, but you have a native plant in a German language. So that just goes to show the history of the Germans as they settled on the African continent. Sorry. Continuing on, the flowers of the honeybush shrub have a honey-like smell, which gives the plant and the tea its sweet-sounding name. Molly, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, absolutely. Now, as Sneha mentioned, the rooibos tea is the cousin of the honeybush. Both are very short leaf teas, and when they are processed, they come out kind of like I don't want to say chips, but I don't want to say dust because dust is too fine. It's not much of a powder. It comes out similar to really, really small splinters. Luke, welcome. So it comes out really, really small splinters, which actually I should talk about steeping these kinds of teas as well. Because you also have to be careful not to use too big of a mesh. What I use on my teapot, before this thing, there we go. I hate when I pull this thing out and then it starts to drip, but it looks like this is good. So as you can see, the mesh here is pretty fine. It's hard to see when it's up close, but like you can see through it, just not in detail. And that's what we want when we no splinters in the gullet. Yes, you do not want to have splinters because that could be quite sticky. See what I said? It sticks you because it's a splinter. No. So you want to avoid anything with too big of a hole. So some people, when they use strainers, like the I forgot what it's called, like coffee strainers and stuff like that. To be honest, this isn't tea. No, it is not tea. Tea only comes from Camellia sinensis. So this is technically an herbal blend, and it's also not. It's also not caffeinated at all because of this. So almost like a coffee mesh filter there. Yes, absolutely, because you'll want those fine holes. So Captain says more netting type of mesh versus a hole type strainer. Yes, you'll want to use the netting, not netting. You want to use netting because it'll go right through it. Nylon will work as well. I mean, if you're in a pinch. I remember back in the day, my grandma used to use. It's not an actual sock, but it's called the sock. When she would strain her coffee. This is way back in like the 80s. So she would put it in a little filter with a either a cloth or a nylon kind of sock on the end, and put it in the water, and make her coffee that way. So you want something similar to that. Tea bags as well, that would work. And it works more for the rooibos and the honeybush teas because there's not going to be that big of a growth within it. So I'll show you guys right now. You see there's not much of a difference between the wet and the dry, which is a good thing. I'm already dripping. I mean, it's to be expected when you have a tea like this because the honeybush is naturally short, so you're not going to see much growth, and the growth affects the flavor. So regular teas, if when you put it in a tea bag, they're not allowed to grow very much. So it's going to be you're only going to get part of the flavor. In this case, rooibos and honeybush, you're going to get the full flavor because it doesn't grow. So all you're getting is the flavor of the leaves and whatever ingredients are in there, unless they use like apple pieces like this one has, or actual physical blueberries, because they absorb water, they grow, but the herbs don't. Okay, so Sneha says, tea drinkers describe the taste of honeybush as floral, lightly roasted, and similar to honey. Although it is often compared to rooibos tea, honeybush is usually sweeter and fuller bodied. Some say that the taste is less medicinal than rooibos tea, which is true. Rooibos has a little bit of a medicinal flavor, kind of like a Robitussin-ish, not too strong, but it's got like that little bit of a flavor to it, along with a kind of sandy texture. Rachel, welcome. It's a slight sandy texture, so if you have texture issues when you eat or drink, I would suggest being cautious when drinking rooibos. But honeybush has less of that texture in it. The taste of honeybush that you will brew at home will depend on your brewing method, on the particular leaves that you buy. So absolutely, there's a lot of good points in what Sneha said, and that also leads me to brewing method. Now, brewing method, the way that I did this, because it's an herbal blend, you're going to have less likely, and oh yeah, you can absolutely use pantyhose in a pinch. I meant to mention that before, Molly, but it has to be some pinch, and they better be some clean pantyhose. That's all I'm saying. But I brewed this at 212 degrees for 5 minutes, and honestly, I could have done it longer because there is no actual tea in here. It's going to be very, very difficult to it'll be very difficult to oversteep, which is always looming in the background whenever you make a glass of tea. You're going to have to address the type of tea, the excuse me, the ingredients in it. I need another sip. And the ingredients in it, oh, that is so good. Oh, all right, sorry, I had to mention that. It just coats the tongue so well, and like the robustness of the cream and the vanilla, spot on. But anyway, so when you are making tea, depending on the level of process that it's gone through, whether it's white, green, oolong, black, darker black, all of that will, and even then still yellow teas. I should mention yellow teas and matcha. They all have different brewing methods, different temperatures, different steep times, and I can't go into all of it because there's just so much to go into, and I only have half an hour. So, that being said, this tea has it's very strong, so you'll be able to brew it. I have taken honeybush and I have hot brewed it for over an hour when I decide to make iced tea, and I use this kind of a blend, I can let it sit there for an hour. In fact, I used a blue mango herbal blend yesterday, and I made a big thing of iced tea with it, and I sat it there for an hour. Um, and then after it was hot steeped for that long, I pulled it out, added the ice, and shook it. Um, and that kind of wakes up the flavor in herbal blends. You cannot do that with a black tea, and you better not do that with a green tea, because that will completely destroy it, and you'll be drinking cold soap. That's what it tastes like. It is oversteeped tea is like very bitter. And also, 9 times out of 10, when somebody says that they don't like green tea, it's because they've had it either too hot or they steeped it too long and they got that bitterness. They burnt the leaf, and that is what kills their taste buds. I actually had a friend of mine who I trusted to make her own jasmine tea, and she messed it up. And I came back, and she was like, "This stuff is gross." I was like, "How long did you keep it in there?" She's like, "Oh, about 10 minutes." Oh, yes, that's what did it. Oof, 10 minutes is too long for even a black tea. When you have a green tea, especially a jasmine, you can taste the difference when it's been done well and when it's done wrong, because it's like night and day. So Captain says my wife has had that experience with so many coffee shops, drinking the tea in coffee shops or drinking the coffee in coffee shops. Because I don't know if you can oversteep coffee. I mean, you can burn it, I know, but I don't know if you can oversteep. That's a very interesting. It's a very interesting line of thought. I should look into that. The green tea being oversteeped, yes, yeah. It's really difficult to find a coffee shop that makes good green tea, because to them, hot liquid's hot liquid. You're not gonna find that kind of quality in every coffee shop. I actually went to Dunkin' Donuts one time and I ordered an iced tea black. Oh, they oversteeped it, and I'm just like, how do you oversteep iced tea? It's like you would imagine that if you're making iced tea, you would cold brew it in the shop, because it's so much easier to just cold brew and leave it in all day and just pour and pour and pour, and you're good all day. I mean, it's good to know that they that they hot brew black tea and ice it down, because that does affect the flavor when it's done right. When it isn't done right, it's pretty sad. I had to throw it away. I took a couple sips. I was like, yeah, no. I tried sugar. Nothing can save that. All the sugar in the world. Willy Wonka could not save that. Oh, okay. So sorry, it looks like my stream didn't show it. So yes, Rachel, you said that your newborn is a handful. Absolutely, I have seen the pictures, and oh my God, so cute, so precious, and your daughter as well, the older daughter. Oh, that smile, those cheeks. Ugh. I just want to pinch them, smush the face. But okay, that's enough of me gushing, but but I can completely understand. The kids are always a handful, but it's all worth it. So yeah, I understand perfectly. Don't worry. I'm just glad you can meet us here tonight. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna open up the floor. Questions or comments or anything you want to talk about. Now's the time. I have at least one announcement. I mentioned last week. Yes, the Teresa question. Yes, I should answer that first. Okay. So the Teresa question, my sister always asks, What would I pair this with? Well, being as I mentioned before, this is a very sweet tea, and it's pancake themed. So yeah, obviously I would go for pancakes. But if I were to go off the path a little bit, this being a dessert tea, I would pair it with something sweet like cake. Um, Vanilla cake over chocolate, at least in this case, because the chocolate may be it may mute the blueberry a little bit, but then again, it might complement the vanilla as well. So I would still go for the vanilla cake over the chocolate cake, but I think that it could still work well with chocolate as well. Looking forward to trying this, and if you could try the butterscotch too and the carrot cake, absolutely. The carrot cake actually is a little bit hard to find because that was a David's tea, and it's no longer. They don't make it anymore. As far as I know, I heard that it's off the menu. But definitely butterscotch is still around, so go for it. And this can definitely compete with the butterscotch. It's a lot of the same ingredients. I believe the butterscotch was black tea, but it had the flavoring. It had the vanilla. It uh, had the I forgot what else it was in it. Um, but yeah, this can definitely rival it. So talking about the announcements. So I've changed my weekly tea parties, virtual tea parties, from weekly to bi-weekly. So this week we're having it about 3 o'clock Central. Everybody here, of course, is invited. You can check you can check my Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram for it. So I posted the link. Everybody is invited. I hope to see you guys there. And we have a great time because they all last like about 2, 3, 4 hours. We actually, for the first one, and I believe it was the first two and like the fourth or something like that, we hit like 6 hours easy. And it was a lot of fun. So I encourage everybody to join up and, just relax, drink some tea, have some fun, talk all you want about it. It's good stuff. Mm. Thomas taste. Doing the Thomas taste. And I love how full flavored this is because it's slow burning. Pops, welcome. It's slow burning, and the flavor just sits on your tongue. And as I talk, like it swirls in the mouth. What is my Twitter? It's actually well, you know what? Let me write it down there because it's hard to. I believe. Oh, there we go. I believe that's it, or there might be a dash. I don't think so, but if there is a dash, it'll be Communi T. So it's at Communi-Tea, capital COMMUNI capital T, or dash capital T, one of the two. I'm like about 80% sure there's no dash, but you would think that I know my own name. I don't. I am of that age where these things just escape me. But yes, everybody's invited, and I look forward to having you guys come in. It's a lot of fun, and we have a great time. And we do often have people from other countries joining in lately, and that has been a lot of fun too. Granted, it is a lot later over there, but still, it's nice. It's nice to have them come in and just enjoy the company. As well, I do have other announcements, but nothing set in stone yet. So, oh, excuse me. That one snuck up on me. Um, but yeah, I'll keep you guys posted as I hear. Right now, I am waiting on a response on something. But once it comes in, I will let you guys know. So it looks like I'm down to my last couple sips. I'm going to open the floor once again. Question, comments, anything you have. Now is the time. Oh, it's so good. Rate the tea. Rate the tea. All right, all right. Um, 5 out of 5 would recommend. This is really like it's such a dessert tea, and I have a sweet tooth, so this is catering specifically. It's calling my name. It's saying, Mike, Mike, drink me, and I am obeying my my tea master. This is really good. Oh man. Okay. So, my last sip. So, if you have any questions, comments, now's the time, or forever hold your peace. Mm. Oh, so good. Thank you guys for joining me once again. This has been an incredibly fun experience. It's a delicious tea. So, I'm going to post the link to it after I sign off. I'll add it to the Facebook page. So in the meantime, have a great week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.